all of us have a decision to make in our lives. And it was the same back in the time of the children of Israel here on Mount Carmel. They'd been waffling back and forth. Were they going to serve the true God and let him be their master? Or were they going to continue serving Baal or Baal, which means my master? Who were they going to choose? Were they going to submit to God's almighty power, or really were they going to worship Baal, which really centered around self and worshiping self, about lust, about self-gratification, about pleasure? Who was it going to be? There was a great standoff here in the time of Elijah with the children of Israel, where the prophets of Baal went to prove the power and the fulfillment of worshiping their own God, worshiping self. They set up an altar, they danced around it, they called out to Baal to respond to them, and yet nothing came. Well, after half a day, Elijah repaired the altar of the Lord. He invited everyone, come to me. He poured some precious water on that altar to show that there was no tricks, nothing underhanded, no magic going on here. And then he prepared a sacrifice to the true God, Yahweh of Israel. Well, God answered that sacrifice by sending fire from heaven and consuming the offering. And then all the people saw what the power of God is really like. Here they thought that they could have power by serving self, but they realized that the only power to overcome comes from God. And it was then that the entire assembly of Israel resounded, shouting, "The Lord, Yahweh, He is God. The Lord, He is God." And it was then that they made that decision. They stopped waffling back and forth and decided that the Lord would be the one that they surrender to, that they submit to, that they worship. Because the Lord has power to change our lives. We too have a decision to make. The same kind of decision that was settled here on Mount Carmel so many years ago. Whom will we serve? Will we serve God, the source of power in the universe that can come into our hearts and change our lives and help us overcome the things that we're struggling with? Or will we serve self? It looks like glamour, it looks like excitement, it looks like pleasure, but in the end it never delivers. Whom will you choose today? Here on Mount Carmel, this is Dustin Cerns, and I just appeal to all of us. May we choose God and say, the Lord, He is God.